up, YouTube? It's your boy Cobbs here, back at it again with another reaction video. I'm gonna skip right to the chase. We're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna be reacting to it could get even worse for KD and this whole Kyrie situation, where Brooklyn not want to give him the full max. So we're gonna jump right into this video.
10 seconds left. 1 point game. Who shooting? You were Kyrie, KD?
One thing I've always been comfortable with is, I felt like I was the best option on every team I played for, down the stretch. This is the first time in my career where I can
down the stretch. Kyrie right down the stretch.
I was a little like damn. Once I got the whole transcript, I was like, damn. It kind of hurt me a little bit.
It's been a very difficult week to be a Brooklyn Nets fan. And
True.
I don't think anyone's going to deny that. I'm not here to bash Brooklyn Nets and Brooklyn.
It was just a dumpster fire.
Because it was just an unfortunate
hard
series
left
of events that just seems to be getting worse.
Kyrie was dealing with whatever he was dealing with police brutality and the whole COVID vaccine. KD was basically by himself.
Where said star player might not want to return back to the Brooklyn Nets. So it seems like the feelings are about to be mutual. And things are getting worse.
Then you got a Brooklyn organization not want to give Kyrie the full max.
Before we get to the content, if you could drop a like, consider subscribing, and turning on our notifications.
Kyrie don't like that, so we just,
now that we got all that out of the way,
we're gonna see what Kyrie gonna do this offseason. You know what I'm saying? If you go to LA, that Western Conference Finals is gonna be crazy. Whoever won the Western Conference Finals, if Kyrie go to LA between the Warriors and the Lakers, gonna win the trip.
What's going on, everybody? Last time we made a video on this channel, it had to do with Kevin Durant primarily trash talking Draymond Green on Twitter. But this time, we're not even talking about Kevin Durant talking on social media with opposing players.
Kevin Durant is he
necessarily the greatest due to a decision he
I don't know
made
what he
to
gonna
join
do
the Brooklyn Nets
if Kyrie leaves. I'll leave Brooklyn personally.
No,
you know
this
what I'm saying?
video has more to do with Kyrie Irving. Now,
Ben Simmons don't know how to shoot the ball.
1 month ago, we made a video on how the Brooklyn Nets are just undergoing a gigantic collapse. Now, this isn't me saying
Collapse
sucks for the Brooklyn Nets because, look, everything that
James Harden forced his way to Philly and was mediocre in Philly.
Would accept it. If you're a team that was currently getting really excited about the development of D'Angelo Russell, Karis LeVert, and Spencer Dinwiddie, and then Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving choose your team as the top.
Now that old Brooklyn team was fun, man.
Obviously, you're going to say goodbye to D'Angelo Russell and eventually Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert, and let go of Kenny Atkinson to bring in whoever Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving want to coach them in order to build yourselves a super team. Now, originally, I think the Brooklyn Nets did everything perfectly except the James Harden trade. I felt like the core of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, with the depth that they originally had, was all that they really needed. But unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan. The very short version of this is after Kevin Durant was recovering from his Achilles tear in year 2, Kyrie and KD looked like a very promising duo. And when they traded for James Harden, they looked like a very promising trio. But unfortunately, as a result of injuries to James Harden and then Kyrie Irving right at the time that the Brooklyn Nets were making their playoff run last year, and then this year, the vaccine drama that Kyrie Irving was dealing with all season long, ultimately, things didn't go according to plan for the Brooklyn Nets.
Absolutely.
And again, this is something that
they're recovering from injuries.
I mean, no one could
all
have
three of them.
anticipated the vaccine drama happening. As a matter of fact,
COVID was out of nowhere.
The Brooklyn Nets, COVID wasn't even a thing. And to be honest, Kyrie Irving's tenure with the Brooklyn Nets just hasn't gone according to plan. I mean, in 3 seasons with the Brooklyn Nets,
when the league came out with the COVID mandate,
with the Brooklyn Nets, which is
majority of the players was like, we gonna take it, but you know what I'm saying?
Which is 127 games in 2 seasons.
That minute percentage of players were like, nah.
All off season long. I mean, it's not
Kyrie was one of them. He was adamant of him not
Durant's
want to take the
team
vaccine.
He left, and Kyrie Irving's team that he left ended up making it to the NBA Finals. It's a popular narrative that most mainstream media loves taking and running away with. But if you ask my honest opinion, I could have told you that both the Boston Celtics are set up for future success, and the Golden State Warriors will be just
the Celtics really didn't need Kyrie.
As a matter of fact, if
that
you go
year
into
was
the
just
archives of the Laced Up
he wanted to
podcast
leave
before we
Cleveland.
disbanded, you would would see me saying repeatedly that the Golden State Warriors are my favorite team to win the finals this year, primarily because of their depth around their incredible core already. But I digress. Now we're at a very unique point. 1 month ago, we made a video on how Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets front office haven't spoken since their season ended. We were wondering why. Well, maybe it had something to do with the fact that the Brooklyn Nets have been unwilling to offer Kyrie Irving a long-term extension due to his injury history and unpredictability. So there is no denying the fact that whenever Kyrie Irving is on the basketball court, he is
trying to protect
mesmerizing
himself
to watch. I mean, I have never seen someone so skilled with a basketball in his hand. I mean, I get dizzy just watching him cross other players over.
No cap, you gotta get that man. You gotta get that man a max.
There's no denying that Kyrie Irving
You
is
gotta get
a
that man a
very
max,
talented
bro.
basketball player.
Just for the sake of keeping KD happy, you gotta get that man a max.
Look, I don't think Kyrie Irving is an injury-prone player. I don't
He's not.
perceive Kyrie as an injury-prone player personally. Yes, he's had some unfortunate luck with injuries during his.
Well, that man with the ball in his hand, he did.
Personally, I feel like he was more
Okay.
conservative.
The man with the ball in his hand, he's different.
Because I didn't think that Brooklyn Nets team was going to compete without Kevin Durant, and then of course the unfortunate injury he sustained during the 2021 NBA playoffs. That was just bad luck. But historically, Kyrie Irving wasn't perceived as a player that has horrific injury problems.
No.
He's been able to average about 60 games per year in his career, sometimes hitting the 70 mark, but more recently, it's been a bit more unpredictable. In the 2020 to 2021 season, even before the vaccine drama, he was known for taking time off during specific instances. So I understand being a little nervous about committing to a player that is a little unpredictable. If Kevin Durant originally
personal days.
Back, obviously Kevin Durant's gonna feel some type of way about it. Now this is all from 1 month ago. We haven't heard anything to update us on this situation up until today. As a matter of fact, this update is so freaking huge that it's been the #1 trend on Twitter for the past 7 hours. So this is also coming to us from
the update to his update. Wolves dropped that Wolves bomb with the teams Kyrie might want to be either traded to or signed to if he declined his player option.
Irving situation. So this is coming from an article that's called Nets Kyrie Irving at an Impasse, and then it gives us the latest on Miles Bridges and some NBA draft notes. So it opens up with one of the most anticipated free agency situations involves Brooklyn's Kyrie Irving, who has a June 29th deadline on his $36.9 million player option for the 2020
deadline coming up too
season. However, multiple sources tell The Athletic that conversations about Irving's future have gone stagnant between him and the Brooklyn Nets.
Because he want that long-term max deal and Brooklyn don't want to give it to him.
For the 7-time All-Star to consider the open market, according to those sources. So it makes a lot of sense, man. I don't think you need to necessarily be a genius, or we don't need to really speculate very much, because we've seen Sean Marks come out and just say it point blank. How much of a commitment is Kyrie Irving going to make to the Brooklyn Nets?
I think we know what we're looking for. You know, we're looking for guys that want to come in here, be part of something bigger than themselves, play selfless, play team basketball, and be available. And that goes not only for Kyrie, but for everybody here.
So obviously for Sean Marks,
that was all directed towards Kyrie. Come on, man. You might as well just say Kyrie, man. Are you going to be committed to the team, yes or no?
Max contract money and only have him play 20 games per year. And in the case of Kyrie Irving, again, in year 1 he played 20 games, in year 2 he played 54 games, and this past year he played 29 games. And I'm sure on Kyrie Irving's end he says that these are circumstances that are out of my control. Year 1 I got injured, in year 3, well, there was vaccine BS that I had to deal with, and they forced me to take time off as a result of it. So I could see both sides in this instance. Now, the article says some absolute wild stuff, because it continues to say that Irving joined the Nets alongside Kevin Durant in the summer of 2019, like we said. Though Durant missed their first season together as he recovered from a torn Achilles tendon, Kyrie made the All-Star team in 20 to 21 and helped lead the franchise to the Eastern Conference semifinals alongside Durant and James Harden before suffering an ankle injury in Game 4 against the Bucks. After the past season, in which he played just 29 games and missed most of the season's home games because of his decision not to comply with New York City's vaccine mandate, Irving made it clear that he intended to return to the Nets in the summer and continue to build with Durant and newcomer Ben Simmons. Now, what's ironic about this is Boston Celtics took that commitment and just ran with it, because, as you guys know, Kyrie Irving famously committed to the Boston Celtics.
That was hilarious, man.
Shared it with some of my teammates as well as
when he was like, he's gonna resign.
In Boston, you guys were having me back. I plan on re-signing here next year.
He lied to the fucking
Kyrie
fans.
said directly, I don't plan on going anywhere, which is very similar to what he said during that one famous moment with the Boston Celtics. But nearly 2 months later, it appears that both sides have serious work to do in order to
I don't know what they're gonna do with Ben
resolution
Simmons and his back that he keep
Kyrie
re-injuring
Irving back to
every
Brooklyn
season.
and his co-star Kevin Durant, who is under contract with the Nets through the 2025-26 season. Several teams across the league have kept tabs on the situation, wondering about the future of Irving in Brooklyn. And for Kevin Durant, man, I really can't blame him for signing a contract that gives him security until the 25-26 season. Because with respect to Kevin Durant and his greatness, you don't really know what your future in basketball is going to look like after suffering an Achilles tear. You don't know how long Kevin Durant can be Kevin Durant
KD back.
for. For all you know, he might have 1 or 2 more years left in the tank.
What he just said
Hopefully
was
he has
false.
more.
Come
I
on.
would love
That boy
to watch
KD got
Kevin
more
Durant be
years
great
to
for
go.
way longer, but it's still something that I actually applaud him for doing. Because
It's
you
just
don't
if
know
Kyrie
what the
leave
future's
and it's
going to
him
look
and Ben
like.
Simmons,
Now this is where it gets
I really don't
really
believe KD is gonna
interesting,
stay in
because
Brooklyn.
Now we know some teams that are interested in trading for Kyrie Irving. So the Los Angeles Lakers, New York Knicks, and Los Angeles Clippers are expected to be among the interested suitors if Kyrie heads elsewhere.
the Knicks are the only team with cap space to sign him for that max.
Laker fan. I balked at
But
all the trade scenarios
the
we
Clippers
had
have
this past
pieces to
year.
trade
Even told
for
you that
Kyrie.
most likely
The Lakers don't have
scenario was for us to
nothing.
keep Russell Westbrook. I warned you guys that the Lakers
They have Russ.
acquiring Russell Westbrook last year didn't make sense and was possibly not going to yield
They shoulda
results.
never
Although
got
I
Russ.
didn't predict them not making the playoffs at all whatsoever. I did question the fit alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So let's see how realistic the scenario is. And typically the Athletic is very realistic. I have nothing but praise for them. For the Lakers, the likely path to acquire Kyrie Irving and reunite it with LeBron James would be Irving opting in to facilitate a trade because the Lakers cannot realistically clear cap space to sign him themselves. And a sign and trade would trigger the hard cap, thus making acquiring Irving significantly more difficult. But if Kyrie Irving would opt in, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka would have to satisfy the collective bargaining agreement salary matching rules, meaning if Irving's $36.6 million was the only incoming salary, the Lakers would need to send anywhere from $29.3 million to $45.8 million to the Nets, and or a third team in a legal transaction. Very realistic.
I feel like a
if you ask me.
3-team
Way
trade.
more realistic than the Lakers acquiring Bradley Beal, if we want to be honest. But is that necessarily what Laker fans want? I mean, if you're a team that is potentially going to acquire Kyrie Irving, if you're a Clippers fan, if you're a Knicks fan, if you're a Laker fan, do you even want Kyrie Irving to begin with?
Yes.
You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know.
You know
how
exactly what you're
unpredictable
gonna
he's
get.
be. When the Nets acquired
Okay.
Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and hell, especially when they traded for James Harden, we all thought that this team was at the very minimum.
You already know what you're gonna get when you acquire Kyrie Irving. You're gonna get a bucket. Come on, man.
That wasn't the case.
You're
Yes,
gonna
the
get a
Nets
shake
had
and bake
injury
bucket.
concerns and depth concerns, but for the most
His
part, we
new
can
nickname
agree
is
that
Shake and Bake
Kyrie
Bucket.
Irving's
Come on.
unpredictability
Look at that.
had something to do
That's a bucket right
with
there,
the
bro.
Nets' lack of success this year. Now, the Knicks have significantly more assets, and they have a pretty nice salary cap line for 2022 to 2023.
True.
So it could clear enough cap space to sign Irving on a maximum contract.
But I don't
by
think
offering
Irving wanna go
salaries
to New
like
York.
Evan Fournier and
He wanna
Burks
compete
and
for
Nerlens
titles.
Noel and Kemba Walker. But the Knicks could also offer some or all of those players to the Nets or a third team in a possible sign and trade. And then there's finally the Clippers, which requires Irving to opt in because they are significantly over both the luxury tax line and the hard cap for 2022 to 2023.
Like
and to
I said
satisfy salary
previously,
cap matching, the Clippers
Lakers and the
need to
Clippers,
send
they
a
have
top
no
between
cap space.
$29.3 million and $45.8 million to the Nets and or a third team if Irving is the only salary headed their way. The Clippers scenario is less complicated than the Lakers, as the Clippers have a series of players
Yeah, they do have
making $11
pieces.
million to $17 million to work with. So obviously the Clippers, they have Norman Powell, they have Marcus Morris, they have Luke Kennard and Reggie Jackson, and they're making between $11 million to $17 million, and this satisfies the trade rules of the CBA. The article closes by saying that a potential Kyrie Irving departure would be incredibly damaging to the Nets because of their limited ability to replace him and his salary slot should Irving sign elsewhere as a free agent. A likelier path to any departure would be via sign and trade.
Yeah.
Brooklyn owes $111 million to 6 players in 2022 to 2023, and this is not including Kyrie Irving. So even filling out the roster with minimum salaries would put the Nets over next season's projected salary cap of $122 million. If Irving bolts, Brooklyn's strongest path to adding talent would be the full $10.3 million mid-level exception. Irving is also eligible for a new deal via exercising his player option and extending his contract from there, which could land him a starting salary of $45.2 million for 2023 to 2024. So if you want my opinion on the situation, it depends on what Kyrie Irving is prioritizing.
Yeah.
Does he want to get paid? He already has a ton of money. So
Does Kyrie want the money, or does he want a new team? If he want a new team, he gotta take less money.
Or does he feel indebted to Kevin Durant somehow? Like, that's his buddy. He doesn't want to leave his buddy there, stranded in Brooklyn with not that many supporting pieces at this point, and only $10 million to get him a better supporting cast. I mean, yeah, KD has Ben Simmons, but it would be unfortunate if we never even got to see the big three of Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant work out. But it seems like the
big three, that's big two. We have no idea what the hell Ben Simmons
going
to
do.
do.
I don't know if it's a game of chicken that these two are playing, but it should be really interesting to see how this entire situation unfolds.
Absolutely.
Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm
be
your
up.
boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic.
Come on, man. We're gonna end that video right there. To get my full scope of things, this basically, it's all on Kyrie's shoulders. We're gonna see at the deadline what he do. To be honest, I feel like at the deadline I think he gonna become a free agent at his deadline. I don't think he gonna re-sign with the Brooklyn Nets because he want that stability in that max contract. After that, oh hell gonna break loose on the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes. I feel like if he don't go to LA, it's either he re-sign with Brooklyn, which would be stupid, or he go to the Knicks, which again makes no sense because the Knicks they not ready. They're not even a playoff team. But hey man, it's all in Kyrie's hands. I hope he deal his cards right. Hey, it's your boy Cobbs. That's gonna be the end of the video. I want y'all boys stay safe. We're going up from here.
Riding in that beam, let that talk a truck. Ride around with these bust down wedges on me, I got my blinking tongue. Head number 1 up on these chart, yeah, stuck at one.